Right, so we all want that perfect driver, don't we? That driver that hits it as long as possible and as accurately as possible. Well, I've been looking into some stuff lately that might just change the way we buy and get fitted for our golf clubs forever. Right, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about online fittings. Now, I'll be honest, when I say it out loud, I think the instant thing is, why would you ever buy a driver online without hitting it and seeing how it performs? And I'll be honest, when I first heard about it, that was my exact thoughts. But I've watched a few podcasts, a great one with Mygolfspy actually, and they've actually got their own online driver fitting tool. So what I thought for today is let's have a look at it. Let's actually get me fitted for a driver. Let's see what they can find me without me even hitting a golf ball. But let's look at the website. So it's called TrueGolfFit. And as I bring it up on screen here, we can see True Fit to You. So a 60-day money-back guarantee. Find your fit. So as we scroll down, real golfers, real results. So unbiased, no guesswork, all major brands, matched to your swing, personalised fittings for 100% of golfers. So that's a big claim. So get fitted with real swing data. So what Mygolfspy are talking about is in all their product testing, they're testing pretty much all the drivers, golf balls, the works, and they're getting a huge number of golfers hitting balls. So what they're going to try and do with this is, from the way I'm going to tell them I deliver the golf club, they're going to see which drivers have worked best. And with the algorithm, they're going to decide which is best for me. But let's get back to the site and read a little bit more, because I think it's really interesting, this. So they've got 45,000 swing database, over 3 million swing data points, 92.7% matched. Okay. So select your club, data-driven online fitting. Currently, just driver available. And for the mere cost of $9. Right, so this absolutely looks like no lose. $9 to find out my perfect driver. And what I'm interested in, because obviously I'm a coach, I'm a fitter, I'm going to run through the process first, going to see what it says I should be getting. Then I'm going to go in my home studio and hit some of my current driver, see what my numbers are, see what their numbers are like compared to what I actually get now. And then we're going to discuss the pros and cons of online fitting. Because like I said, I think this is going to be absolutely huge if this is the right way of doing it. Right, so I've set up my account. Let's get started. So get started now for $9. We'll have a bit of that. So what's your handicap? So unfortunately, as a pro, we need to keep going down. 0. Yeah, not 40 yet. So what's your swing speed? Medium fast. Actually, no, let's go expert mode, because I know pretty much what I am. So let's move me up 108. What's your angle of attack? So I know I'm up. Again, let's go expert, because I know roughly where I am. About that 3 degrees. What's my swing tempo? Probably medium would be fair for me. Right, so here we go, matching all those bits that I've put in. Okay, so it's saying they can pick me up 5.27 yards, 6.25% accuracy. Should be hitting it 282, 14 degree launch, 2.3 spin and ball speed 151. Right, let's have a look at my top result. Let's unlock your results. Right, so while I fill my payment details in, I like you guys, but I'm not going to share my credit card details with you just yet. But, right, here we are. So the sub 70 839D. Now, I'll be honest, never heard of that. It's clearly a very, very good driver. But it's saying 282, 14-degree launch. I wonder what my second option would be. Okay, so the Wilson Staff D7. No yards, pickup. But yeah, I like the sound of that. It's saying I should pick up 5.27 yards. And all I've got to do is click there to buy now and get a 60-day money-back guarantee. Right, so if you wonder if I've just stepped out of the cave, I've just let a bit more natural light into the room. But for me, that was really interesting because for one, I'd never heard of the sub 70 driver that it recommended. So I love the fact that it's offering me something that I wouldn't have even considered. I think this comes into the pros and cons of face-to-face, that, you know, there's a limit to what you can try. And obviously Mygolfspy with this platform, there's lots of other platforms going to be around and coming out, but it's nice the fact that they test so much product that it's maybe offering something a little bit extra there. Now, it was interesting because I thought 282 yard total for 108 mile an hour didn't really sound as far as I would expect it to be. But I'm going to go in the home studio now. I'm going to hit some shots with my driver, get the average, then I'm going to come back here, going to show what the average is, whether I think this current online platform is good or bad, or the pros and cons of it, and how moving forward might more and more golfers be using this type of tool instead of coming to see someone like me, or potentially is it people like me that are the problem and the reason that guys are moving more online for that type of thing. But let's go to the studio, let's smash some drivers, and let's see what my current driver gives me. Right, so I'm in the home studio. I've got my driver, the Titleist TSI 3, 8-degree head. I'm going to hit some shots, going to look at some numbers, kind of club speed, ball speed, attack angle, carry and total. Now it's interesting because it's saying that 282 should be my max total, which should be longer than this, which is interesting because I wasn't asked what my driver was, but I knew my club head speed, but I wasn't asked to comment on how far I should hit it. But that's by the by for now. Let's hit some shots with my Titleist, get some numbers and see, is this already currently potentially longer than they're saying I can get? Right, so I've got some solid ones there. Not all great strikes, but let's look at the average numbers for my Titleist TSI 3. Let's look at the strike point as well, because that makes such a big difference, which maybe currently isn't something that you can comment on when you're getting fitted online. But let's look at the averages and see initially how my current driver stacks up compared to what my potential should have been. Okay, so my club head speed was 107 mile an hour. I had 158.5 mile an hour ball speed. I hit up 3 degrees. My backspin was just under 2,400. Carry just over 257 and total just over 287. And when we look at the group in there, kind of all of them in the fairway, which would be nice. That low toey one that I got that we'll see when we look at strike, definitely there, short and left, but everything else very solid and very consistent. And when we look at the strike there, generally fairly towards the centre. I had a little low toey one in there, which definitely didn't help. That was that one that scooted off to the left and didn't go too far. But all in all there, maybe just slightly toe side with the strike, which is very typical for me. And that's really important, that where you hit it on the club face massively affects launch, spin, ball speed, and therefore distance. And I think that's still a really important aspect of fitting driver. Right, so I've looked at the numbers there, and to be fair, they're pretty good numbers for me. I'm not swinging quite as quickly as I have done in the past, but you can see my club head speed, angle of attack and everything was very much kind of as I said it would be. Now that helps then that obviously I know my swing, but you can be more kind of general, can't you, on the website and put your swing speed between 105 and 115, and you can just say up, level or down. But I think all of those, the more specific you can be, the more dialed in you can be, and ultimately, the better driver you can be fitted for. Right, so for the wrap up, I'm afraid I've retreated back into the house. It is freezing in Blackpool. The home studio is not heated. And when I say home studio, it's in my garage. So it's cold in there. But I think what you could see is even with my current driver, I actually was getting more performance out of my current driver than the TrueGolfFit website said, because they were saying my optimal should be 282 yards total, 14-degree launch, 2,340 spin, 151 ball speed, and club head speed 108. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to defend their numbers a little bit. Now, the club head speed of 108 mile an hour. And if anyone from Mygolfspy watches this, please correct me if I'm wrong with this. But I do believe they use GC Quad for their testing. So it measures slightly different to TrackMan. So potentially with their GC Quad, I might show up more like around 112, 113 mile an hour, which would then explain the difference in the ball speed. So I'm only going off what I do, and maybe I'm in a different position because one, I've got TrackMan myself. Two, I've been fitted by Titleist for that driver, so it's not me fitting myself. But all in all, I actually think the website's actually very, very good. Now, is online fitting the way forward? I do think in years to come, and it might not be years to come, it might be months to come, I think a huge number of golfers will go down this route and get some phenomenal drivers out of this. But I think where it's maybe just not quite there yet, and this isn't a criticism, anything when it's new is never perfect to begin with. Like I said when I was in the studio there, strike plays such an important part in how the driver performs. And, when I'm filling in my little questionnaire there about, how I deliver the club, nothing's asked about strike. For me, it's maybe just a little bit vague. And again, I'm trying to see both sides of the argument here. People will definitely going to say, and feel free to comment below on this, that I'm biased because I'm someone that fits face to face. So I'm going to be biased that should be the way to go. I don't necessarily think that is the case. I think what I like with the online stuff, and maybe the blend of the two, I think is the long-term solution. As a fitter, I would love to have a golfer stand there, hit their own driver, and be able to get club head speed, launch, backspin, be able to see strike, and then be able to go into a database and see at that swing, at that speed, with that angle of attack, with that strike, which models perform best for that delivery. Now, which model head, which potential shaft, which I think can again be difficult because golfers can react differently to shafts, but I think certainly a club head matrix would be absolutely unbelievable. Will it ever happen? I don't know. I think it's going to be very difficult to get manufacturers to, we're definitely not going to work together on it, but I think it'd be interesting if you could get, say, Titleist, for me as a great example, with my current driver, Be lovely to know out of their heads from their testing, and it could be robot tested, which head performs best when you hit up 3 degrees at 108 mile an hour and your strike is generally slightly towards the toe. Where should the setting be? But I still think in person you need to stand there and hit the shots. Again, I know it's hard because it's maybe a one-off session. And to be fair, this video could be hours long, and potentially maybe I should even do this as a YouTube live and get some guys kind of on with me and let's talk about this. But I think the online fitting thing is definitely something that is already here and it's coming. Should you be using online fits at the moment? I think if you have got the opportunity to go and see a good fitter or a fitter that you respect their judgment and fittings, and they've got a good selection of drivers, I still at the moment don't think anything beats you standing there, hitting it, getting the feedback and seeing them side by side. If you live miles away from a launch monitor or a fitting opportunity, and I get lots of comments on my YouTube channel about this, that, you know, guys live an hour, 2 hours away from anyone that offers this. Absolutely, an online fitting like I've done is so much better than closing your eyes, scrolling down and stopping and hoping that driver is going to be right. So I think there's pros and cons. I think online is better than doing nothing presently. Like I said, I would love to see some of the online fitters or the websites become more of a fitting matrix that you can use if you can't go and see a fitter, but maybe then fitters get involved with these matrices to see, matrices, is that even a word? To see which heads perform best at such angle of attacks with such contact points, so that ultimately your driver can be correctly fitted for you. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. Something different again, and I'm trying to do as much content that it's really going to benefit you guys, but you guys are going to find educational, a little bit of fun as well, and I want you guys to get involved. So comment below, let me know what videos you love me doing. Let me know what videos you'd really like to see me do. Is there something really out there that you'd like to see me do that might be massively out of my comfort zone? Not promising they'll get done because it depends how far out of my comfort zone it is. But comment below. I love it when you guys get in contact. And like I said, it's about making content to help you guys play better golf and enjoy your golf more. But if you have enjoyed today's video and you don't currently subscribe to my channel, please consider clicking the button below. Remember to ring the notification bell, then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.